Time since 2008 yesterday after heavy rain soaked coal supplies in Mpumalanga. The electricity utility declared a state of emergency early on Thursday morning, and industrial customers have been asked to reduce consumption by another 10%. To give us an update on the blackouts, we're joined in studio by Andrew Etzinger, who is Eskom's spokesperson. Andrew, it's good to have you in studio. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Leanne. Thank you.
All right, so let's begin with some good news, because I think we need it after a rather traumatic day for many people yesterday. So you're saying that today there will be absolutely no load shedding?
The outlook for today is considerably better than it was yesterday. If everything stays as it is, we'll be absolutely clear. But things do go wrong, as we know, and for that reason, we're asking the public and business to please support us by using electricity very sparingly today. Let's keep our reserve margin where it is, and let's keep in the green as opposed to the black. If anything changes, we'll certainly alert the public, but at this stage, it's looking very good. So
it's looking good, so we at this point don't. A lot of people, however, saying that in their area there still is no electricity. So, you know, what's the story there?
In those instances, outages would be caused by factors other than national load shedding, and it's important for customers of municipalities or Eskom to phone their call centre, or phone the Eskom call centre if they're Eskom customer, municipal call centre if they're municipal customer, to report the fault. Let a technical team come out and attend to that, but it's likely to be a local network problem. It's certainly not load shedding. We're not busy with load shedding, and none is on the cards at the moment.
Okay, so anybody who's experiencing electricity failures now, that's a local problem, a local network problem. It's not a load shedding problem.
That's right.
All right, but so we talk about today, and what I've gathered from Eskom right now is you're taking it day by day.
We have to, and that's a continuous focus on making sure that our plant is reliable, that our maintenance, which is underway at the moment, is done, which is a considerable amount of maintenance. We've never done so much maintenance on our power stations before, and that has to be done. So a lot of focus on maintenance, a lot of focus on operations. We're taking it day by day. We're keeping the public informed and business informed of what's happening. But for the next couple of months, it is going to be tight. We do have new power stations on the way. They are being built. The first power from Mpumalanga will be coming on stream by the end of this year. So there's light at the end of the tunnel. But for the next while, we're asking the public and business, please be with us. We need to see through the heavy maintenance that we're doing that results in low reserve margins, unfortunately, and makes us vulnerable to the events that we saw yesterday, for example.
Yeah. I'm sure it's difficult for people to understand that, though, because Eskom is a power utility. We pay you for power, and yet it's, you know, lots of people saying it's a strange service you pay for and you don't get it. How do you explain this to customers? I mean, customers are paying good money to get electricity, and yet they're not.
It's completely understandable to ask that question. But it is also very important that as a country we understand that we have a severe electricity shortage, which will persist for the next 2 years. During that time, we have got new power stations which have been under construction for many years now and are nearing their finality. So there's great news in terms of infrastructure that's coming on stream that will once again put us on the map as a world-class utility. But until those power stations come online, we're needing to maintain our existing power stations. There's just no way we can get around that. We can't defer that maintenance. Otherwise, in the long run, our existing power stations will collapse. So we need to build new and protect our old. And unfortunately, that means that reserve margins will be tight because we have a lot of plant out of service. And there will be the odd occasion, unfortunately, where things come together, events come together. It can be weather, can be other technical problems, which give us a problem. So we need the support of the public, we need the support of business to cut back on electricity usage during those times.
So yesterday you declared a state of emergency. Are you lifting the state of emergency, or is it still there?
The system emergency was lifted at 10 p.m. last night.
So it was lifted at 10 p.m. last night.
That's right.
Why such short notice? Because surely you saw it coming after a week like last week with a lot of rain countrywide, and obviously this is something Eskom's been seeing, and yet you give us a half an hour notice.
We give continuous notice through to, once again, business and the public as to the state of the system, and we continually point out the vulnerabilities. In fact, 2 weeks ago, we had a quarterly briefing. We invited the media, and we gave a very detailed briefing of the risks and the outlook for the power system and pointed out the risks and the vulnerability. Twice a week, we send out a report on the particular status of the grid, and on a daily basis, actually on SABC, on the power alert, every night we indicate that as well. So there's considerable work we put into making sure that the communication is there. And again, the message has been consistent for the last couple of years, is that we are not out of the woods, although the new power stations are on their way. It's going to be tough, and from time to time we aren't going to have a spot of bother, and we're going to need the support of the public.
Okay, let's clear up a couple of issues, because, you know, obviously a lot of people speculate and talk a lot.
Sure.
How much energy do we give to our neighbouring countries?
Every day we import and export power with our neighbours, through a trading arrangement that has been in place as part of what we refer to as the Southern African Power Pool. And this is an arrangement which works very well for us as well as our neighbours. And on days such as yesterday, we are able to maximise our imports and minimise our exports to those neighbouring countries, and we become a net importer of electricity. So to a certain extent, the situation yesterday was alleviated by the support of our neighbours. So it's an arrangement we must continue.
But how much of our energy do we give to our neighbouring countries? I think that's really the question.
On a daily basis, we would trade about 6% of our electricity, both imports and exports. And as I said, on most days, these net off against each other. But we obviously maximise the imports on days like yesterday, but it's about 6%. Our largest trading partner by far is Mozambique, and the amount of power of that 6%, about 90%, is traded on a daily basis with Mozambique.
Yeah. Is there any way, okay, besides the neighbouring countries, is there any way to protect this coal? Because, you know, from what you're saying is that the rain is influencing it and the coal is getting wet, and that would be leading to the national blackouts. Is there not a way of trying to ensure that the coal is not wet by the rain and conditions? Because, I mean, it's a natural phenomenon that's going to happen.
It is, and certainly since 2008, we've learnt a lot of lessons and put a lot of work into place, contingency measures to deal with wet coal, which is why since 2008, in fact, we haven't raised the issue of the wet weather. We do have stockpiles specifically designed to keep coal dry. There is a cost, however, attached to this. We chemically treat coal, we cover it chemically for certain cases for about 5 days on average at each of our power stations. We work together with the Weather Bureau to understand the risks, but unfortunately in this case the conditions have been extreme. It wasn't foreseen by the Weather Bureau or Eskom, and here's where we are.
All right. Andrew, just to sum up, no load shedding today. That's basically what you are saying.
As we stand at the moment.
As we stand at the moment, there's no load shedding. However, it may change during the course of today.
If it does, unlikely that it will change. We're looking very stable, very good. If anything does change, we'll certainly communicate through the media back to business and the public.
All right, but people still need to conserve.
Please, and that's the best way actually of avoiding load shedding. All
right. Okay, thank you for talking to us. Thank you for ironing out some issues for us. Andrew Etzinger, the spokesperson from Eskom, telling us here on Morning Live that there are no scheduled load sheddings for today. Things may change, however, but as it stands right now this morning, we should be fine. The lights will stay on.